I don't know, I think like a good 3 seconds after I hit like the start stream, but like 3, 2, 1, let's go. Right? That feels official, right? Anyway, so I'm noticing this happen about myself where as I watch back over my videos, I'm like, damn, you know what? If I don't really want to do what I have to do, even if there's something after it that I really, really want to do and I want to get to it, and there's some kind of like groundwork I have to get done first, I will talk for like an hour and a half to avoid doing it. So that is all done. It's the worst possible thing too because I haven't gone for like 2 days. Reasons I'll get to that. So initially, the last stream was basically all right. There's something I want to do. I want to make this entirely new chapter 2 that I'm really really excited about. But before I do that, I have to actually take my 200 pages or so and start breaking it into chapters. Even if it's just basically anytime it switches between characters or whatever, just forcing the chapters to happen, even if I don't like the stopping point. It is a break, it is a switch, it is something that happens that I decided that it was like that looks like a chapter, screw it, let's go. So I had to do all the breakings down, and so last stream I knew I had to do that, and I did get it done in its entirety. However, I did just go on and on and on and on, and I'm noticing that. I'm seeing that. You got to get your shit together, man. Get your shit together. Okay, so at the very least, or at the look, let me go back and say, as I always say, I know myself now a little bit better than I did before, so I'm understanding things, and so if that's gonna happen, that's fine. Because in the background, I'm still thinking about what I want to write for that chapter, and even if the time isn't right then and there, by the time I do get to where I want to write it, it just goes. It doesn't matter if I haven't eaten, if I haven't slept, if I haven't washed. It doesn't freaking matter. Like I just keep going with it. So that being said, now it leads to finally today. So the day before yesterday, it was just a mess. Right? Honestly, like the last like week or so, our kid has been like on a crazy sleep schedule. But he's eating a lot more, and so when he just passes out, he'll take like the smallest naps now, and then just be up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And so when I come on really like twilight hours or so, it's all on purpose. There's something I've done very very early on. I remember when we went to the doctors after we had the baby, and they were like, a good schedule for you guys might be that she gets 4 hours of sleep and then takes care of the kid while you get 4 hours of sleep. You go back and forth, and I was like, "You were don't ever talk. Can we get a new doctor? Get this amateur out of my face. I'm going to stay up 24 hours a day and take care of this kid in absolutely every form or fashion that's needed, on top of helping my wife with anything she needs. You don't go up and down the steps. You're not doing laundry. You're not cleaning shit. You're not picking shit up. You're not even washing your own ass, man. I'll grab the sponge and I was like cleaning her up and stuff like that. I don't know why I did like a window cleaning thing for like cleaning my wife. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, so that's what I did. And just one note on that, so freaking cute. There were times where I would have the baby in the living room, which is over there. We had a whole different setup, a couch that was so uncomfortable. It was just a pain in the neck to sleep in, literally. But I would have the baby next to me while I was on there, and maybe after about like 3 or 4 days from when I started doing that, our little cat boy Jojo started just cuddling with me, and I cried and cried and cried my eyes out, because it was just so sweet. Like I was really missing my wife, like, cause she did work, and so all the stuff that I was doing was really on top of the fact that any other time from the small slivers that I would see her where she was just dog tired and she was just sore, just all this stuff. She was at work, or I was getting naps with the kid or anything like that. So I was crazy missing my wife, and being with the kid was a joy. Like there was no problems with that whatsoever. I remember I was playing a lot of like late night Overwatch and comp and stuff. I've never been better at comp than when I was like taking care of that kid. But at the same time, there were times where I would be playing the game and then be like, "Hey, you're awake? Control. Hey, sorry, team. Look, I'll be right back. My kid woke up. I said, we're gonna take a moment, just make sure he's all like settled and comfortable. But I'll be right back, and just keep me alive, keep me alive, keep me alive. Take care of him. stuff like that, and then get back into the game. So it was a fun time. It was really, really cool, but tired all the time. Tired from like cooking and cleaning and taking care of all of the animals, because we had quite a few. Still do. Um, and so it was an interesting time. But again, that moment where I was like, I know this is gonna be at least 4 or 5 hours of super sleep. The kid is like out like a light, and it was constant. So I would get on that couch, and it was like a swooped edges on it. We got it for $10 at a Goodwill, um, but it was not a comfy couch. It was like you could feel the cardboard like popping when you moved around on it, and just like laying on it, the side of it like swooped up like this, so my neck was like, and if I went further down, then I had less space where I would look. It was a whole freaking thing. But either way, I made it work. But I had my blanket on me, and then just like I said, like on the third or fourth day or something like that, Jojo, which is he's a tough cat. Like we named him Jojo for a very specific reason. He's just we found him on the streets. Like he was in a Goodwill that we were in. Like not Goodwill. We were always like hunting through Goodwill, but we go in and a bunch of little kids are like chasing this orange blur like all the way around, and it's just shooting all around. Like, what the heck is going on? We asked one of the people there, and it was a whole it was a whole thing. Like, let me go back a second. We weren't even supposed to be there initially in that moment. We were supposed to find some clothes for my wife to go to a job interview. She had a new job interview, and we very little money. So we were going through the Goodwills. We still do, even though just for a second, I was going to be like, well, we have a little bit of money now. We still go to Goodwill. No, we're broke as fuck. Like, that hasn't changed. But whatever. The point is that we were going to go to an Asian market first because they're all in the same general area. And at the Asian market, you'll find tools and just bits and bobs and things like that are just like super, super cheap in bulk. It's basically like a store like BJ's Wholesale Club, or any of those like big box stores. Um, but you'll find things that have very, very like just amazing prices and stuff like so even if it's a little bit old, but a little bit dusty, dust a little bit of stuff off. And you'll find like the knockoff like underwear and stuff. Like I have Marco Poldo like underwear, where it's not polo, it's Poldo, and get it right because it treats me right, and so I'm gonna represent. It was like $2. Yeah, get off my ass. But anyway, we were supposed to go to that place first, just to get a few supplies that we needed, and then we were gonna loop back around because the Goodwill was further out, and so it didn't really make sense to go to the Goodwill and then the Asian market. It made sense to go there, and then just one perfect circle, which we like to work on. This is so far before she was pregnant. Um, so nostalgic. Anyway, so we go into the Goodwill first because we say, oh look, the clouds are coming in. Maybe it's gonna rain. We have supplies, so as long as we get the clothes, then that's the biggest thing. So let's go beyond it. The clouds are looking a little murky. Let's see what we can do. We go in, and that's when we see these kids like chasing us a little blur. We go to one of the employees, and we ask, and they point to another person, and we ask, and they say, yeah, it followed an employee into the store. It doesn't belong to anyone, and when the store closes, we have to put it back outside. Like it's not gonna go with us. And to go even into another flashback, there was a point in time where my lady was going through she was going through a really rough time. Like I've been in another state and living my life like on my own and doing my thing, but this was the first time that she had been completely absent from family, friends, or anything like that. And we were several months in, and she had a really bad time where she went for a walk, and she came back, and she felt better, but she told me that she had like a really, really big cry, and a little stray kitty had come up to her and started meowing, and it was just like allowing her to pet her. She came back, and she was just giving me like she was in such a place. She was like, I want that cat. Like we need that cat. It came to me in a moment where I was feeling really bad, and I was like, it hurt. It killed me to do it, but I was like, we can't, we can't, we can't do it. We can't take that specific one because when I initially lived in the state, this has happened before. Where I remember coming home from work and just cat after cat would be following me, and I remember early on I took one in, and it was a bad situation. Like in the end, it went off to animal services, and they were able to from then whatever. But I'm assuming it was fine because when they showed up, they were like, oh, okay, it's fine. This problem is not that big a deal. We got it. But it was definitely at that point just like giving up the kitty. But when I brought it in initially, I broke the back. I remember I was skateboarding through floodwater. I was like Hurricane Harvey or something like that, and that was like the third hurricane in a row of hurricanes and floodwaters, and just making really bad money and just working long hours. And there was this cat that followed me home, and I was like, "Fuck it, buddy, let's go." Like I don't care how bad I'm doing in that situation. Like I may have mentioned before, I'm just like, I'll eat even less. The trick is, if you're starving and your paycheck hasn't come in, go to sleep. Drink as much water as you can. If you can make any kind of broth, that's even better. You would get McDonald's or some kind of fast food, do the survey, and then the food that you got, you would take that home. You would eat the bread part of it, and anything that could go longer, you would like the meat of it. You would put into some water, boil it, put a little bit of salt in it, and then take the meat, take that back out, season it back up, have that in like a separate sandwich, and then that boiled meat salt thing. Then you would drink that and make that go as far as you can. Anyway, so the point is, yeah, even in that stage of my life, I was like, more broth for me, whatever. I'll do what I have to do. Come on, let's go. And I got it in, and I set it all up comfortably. I had a little nest in it. I got it washed up. I had little nails out, but it was so small, and I was like, your nails, they're vicious, but whatever. I don't care. I have scars all over myself, even at that point already. So extra scars from little kitties, I wasn't gonna sweat. That's not a big deal. You get the itchies on because they're little dirty nails and stuff. But washed them all up, got into the room, and my current existing cat, Jojo, just pissed all over the fucking curtain. So I got to take the curtain down in a minute. But whatever. Nah. I'm talking about another cat who came in and he's like, normally when you begin your shit, you feed me and I'm good. I didn't do that this time. This time I came in and I had a bit of a conversation, and he's like, look, man. And he wouldn't have done it, I swear to you. He wouldn't have done it if I didn't look. If I noticed and I was just like having my conversation, I was like, whatever. Then he would start meowing, he would come back up. But the fact that I was like, I locked eyes with him and I was like, so the fault goes, both ways. I don't yell at my animals, honestly, because that just goes in the wash. I have a wash that takes care of that. It cleans up all the ammonia. You don't get the smells. It smells fine when it's all done and stuff like that. So, whatever. I had to put on the wash anyway. So, not a big deal. However, so back to the story about this little kitty. Long story short, it had like just worms. Anytime it pooped, there was just worms all over it, and just parasites and fleas. And I got just fleas all over me, so I had to shave my head. And I was like, okay, I see. Gave the kitty up. It went on to, I assume, a long happy life. And I learned a lesson in that point that when it's an outdoor cat, they gotta live their life. And it did not seem like it was unhappy being outside. It was just like, at a point in time, it was like meowing at the door, and I was like, no, it's for the best. It's fine, even though I'm getting zero sleep and I have work in the morning. Like, who cares? You're in a better place. But hey, that's what happened. So at this point, I've learned my lesson. I'm a much older man at this point, and this cat that came up, she was like, it's a little bit older. And as soon as she said older, I was like, can't do it. Like, if it looks like it's in good health, which all the cats around here definitely did, people just leave out food, and they have their cats that go out, and so it's definitely a wonderland for the felines. There's always like every season there's like new little cats that look so beautiful. But anyway, so at that time, in the situation where this cat like came to her in the night and then just like faded off into the distance when she was like a little bit happier, I was that bad guy that was like, no, we can't do it. But let me say something, because she was about to just, she was in a bad place. So I was like, but let me explain. And I told her a little bit of a story. And I was like, if it looked like it was well taken care of, it might belong to somebody, or it just might be an outdoor cat, and that's impossible. You can't do it. Anything to drink? Not yet. Whatever. I'll finish her. So, in the end, she was like, okay, but I made a promise at that point. I was like, when it comes around, and it will, I swear to you, on my honor, that there will be a point in time, in this state especially, in our area that I've lived in before, that we'll enter into a situation where a little kitty comes up and we'll know. And in that moment, we don't gotta say shit. And these are literally like word for word coming out of my mouth. You just give me that look and we'll know. I'll know. Okay. Yeah, I know. That's you. We're talking. Now I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you when you were like a little tiny bean. Um, so we go into the Goodwill where we weren't even supposed to be at to begin with, but because of the weather, it pushed us there first. Um, and then we heard that story, and my wife gave me that look, and I was like, we didn't do any shopping. We didn't go to the Asian market. We had about $300 in our bank account, and we spent 260 of it, because we immediately like she went up to him, crouched down, had her arms open, and this little boy jumped right into her arms. I'm not even making this up, like at all. Not a single detail. Just jumped into her arms, and yeah, from that point, got him to the car, and she was crying. She just in tears, and he was so cute. And so she's driving. I had him on her lap, and that was like the hardest, even way harder than like getting the baby home. Because when we got the baby home, it was like we're in a work mode, and it was like at a certain hour there was a lot of people on the road. But with this little one, she was like driving, and she was like trying to look at him, and he was like cuddling into me. He's like, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" And I'm like, "He's fine. Just pay attention to the road. We got to get to somewhere before they close." So we took him to the animal hospital place that was around, and yeah, the guy there was so eccentric. He had this very thick accent, and he was looking him over and picking up like he was a little rag doll, and the cat was just like, "Okay, whatever you're gonna do, that's fine." And he was like just holding him in all these like ragdoll ways. And he just kept saying, "Oh, his little ears are so beautiful." That's because that was his accent. His little ears are so beautiful. Oh, listen to his heart. It's so perfect. It's beautiful heart. And I'm like, I love this guy. And so when he came around to being like, "All right, this is the bill," we were like, "All right, this is the bill. Fuck it. Let's go." And he had a total of 2 fleas on him. He got all the shots that he needed. And he came home with us. And that was you. We got all the food and supplies and everything, like with the last of our money. And we brought you home. That was this little guy over here. That was now, what is that, 6 years ago? Right? I heard that. Don't embarrass yourself. You ready? Okay, let's go, little boy. So, start of the stream. Gonna get some food out for this little boy, and the new boy. The other new boy that comes in has his own complete dramatic story about how he came into our life. That's for another day. So let me get them fed, get some tea on as per usual, and then I'll be good to go. Maybe I'm gonna watch this back. How far into my show am I? 20 minutes? That's not that bad. That's not that bad. That's not me being like I am hesitating on doing what I'm supposed to do. That's me being like, fuck it, this is me just talking a lot. This is what I do. So anyway, shoo. I need that space. Okay, let's go. Meow, meow. I hear you over there too, meow meow. Alright, you get your meats. That's right. A little bit of suspense. Let me put the water on for tea first. You're so quiet during this process. It's the cutest fucking thing. Alright, so that's done. I got your food. Meow. Let me find you a nice plate. Alright, let's go. Do I want to mine you for views? You're so freaking cute. Is that a yes? Alright, let's go. Alright, Jojo. No, I can't do this track with you. Yeah, I know, buddy. Let's go, tough guy. There we go. Let me clear a spot for you, my boy. Yeah, no, come on. I don't know if we'll come up here. You're looking at me like you want pets. Look, I gotta do 2 things at once. Okay, so let me move this a little closer. No. Come on, buddy. Over here, come on. Over. This way. Come on. I'll put you on the floor over here. You got it? Is your pathing okay? There you go. He's got it. He's got it. Star is completely good to eat his food. Jojo requires a few pets. There you go. Good job, buddy. Alright, both of them are on their way. They're good to go. Tea is almost done too. So let me get a little bit of music going. Oh no! Alright, my earbud just went flying. Which is a whole hullabaloo. I don't want to do it. But anyway, is there anything else? Catch a copacetic. Tea is almost good. A little bit of music. Okay, yeah, let me go set things up. I'll be right back. What an intro. Inside of a restaurant, they say, come with your arms raised high. Well, you're never gonna get me like a bullet through a flock of doves. To wish this war against your face. Anyway, your life will never be the same. I say a prayer, say a prayer, yeah. Now, well, again, well, I don't know how we're just humans, God made us. Well, who cares? Well, I care, yeah. Too much to make, just like this pain in my heart, I can slow it so, yeah. Injection of smoke from the road. If you get high, how nobody knows all that trouble I say now. Well, who cares? Well, you don't know how I'm just humans, God made us. Well, who cares? Well, I care, yeah. Too much, too late. It's just like another this pain in my fucking tiredness. I kissed your lips again, yeah. Will they ask of you, do not you want to stay, son? Will I die, remember, I remember, yeah. This is with a sore throat, fuck anybody that says I'm a terrible singer. There we go. Tea is on the way. My savior. Life is but a train for the dead. And then I won't go down on myself, but I go down on my friend. Yeah. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, no, yeah. Oh, why are my shoes wet? No. Oh no, all right. Just water. I must have spilled something. It's no big deal. Everybody calm down. Oh, I've had the wrong earbud in the wrong ear. That makes entire sense why it was like impossible to skip tracks. Yo, what a banger. Anyway, I'll be starting in probably about 3 minutes. Should I put that yacht timer on? Nah, it's alright. I'll keep that as like a one and only thing. Yacht timer? What the hell is he talking about? Yeah, don't worry about it. It was an early Sunday morning, and the church was crowded full. Oh, the elder Brown was raging. He was angry as a bull. The congregation sent him, and he knew just what he meant. Is you sinners must repent. Who threw the whiskey in the well? Who threw the whiskey in the well? Oh, Deacon Joseph down to pray. All he said was, hey, hey. So who threw the whiskey in the well? No, who threw the whiskey in the well? In the well. Who threw the whiskey in the well? I'm feeling mighty fine. I'm high as George Pye. Oh, who threw the whiskey in the well? Yo, what a bop. Okay. He told me I seen it in your eyes. It always. There's no way I could talk about singing this song. Falls. I seen it come. I seen him go. He said, all things pass into the night. And I said, hold on, sir. I must say you're wrong. Alright, let's go. I must disagree. Oh no, sir. Up in there, I seen my hopes and dreams lying on the ground. I seen the fire just begin to fall. He said, all things pass into the night. And I said, type your shit. You get back to work, or else you'll be disappointed in yourself later. Won't you listen to me? Alright, let's go. I already love this. This is a cute beginning. I'm not gonna worry too much about typos today. This is a lot more than just one chapter. That's okay. The fact that it's going in early means that I can play a little bit fast and loose with this portion of what I'm doing. Pretty happy with it so far. But I have about 2 pages written of the framework. So the first page or so is all about the contents from basic start to finish as an overview of what happens within it. This is just going to be strengthened and strengthened to add just a few more details as I think of them, because a lot of this is written in a way where when I do eventually break it up, I could just take a couple sentences or a couple paragraphs and just kind of stick in the spot and start expanding them because of the way it's written. It's not so much like it's not like a chart being like this is here, 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 and here. It's very much like there's bits of dialogue that would happen in each of these scenes. There's a bit of imagery that I've put down for just how things are working, and so it becomes very easy for me later on to isolate those and be like, okay, this should go around here, and maybe this will be a couple pages, maybe it'll be a couple chapters, or extend from one to the other, beginning, middle, or end of it. We'll see as we go forward. After that first page, then I go into telling myself about how I want the imagery to be, the structure they live in, what we're looking at, how things are going on and where they take place. Just making it a little bit more solid in my mind and referring it to a specific place that I know of. So I know the architecture, I know the ins and outs of it fairly well, and it works for the story. After that, I go into another half page of explaining to myself of how long I want this story to take place, what that time span means for certain characters, a couple new characters I want to add in, some expanded parentage for a certain character, a new connection, and yeah, all of this leads into what I already have currently written. So the very last bits of this happens, it segues into this scene, which takes off from the original writing. So there's going to be about maybe like 2 or 3 chapters to start the story, and then this takes place for about, was looking right now, maybe about 4 chapters, 3 if I'm being modest, conservative, and about it. But I can see it being longer. I don't know at this point. For right now, I'm not really even sure how long a chapter should be. For the most part, something I'm happy with calling a chapter looks like they're about 15 to 18 pages. I don't know if that makes sense. But as things inflate, I'll have plenty of time to worry about how I break that down later. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do right now for tonight's stream, is make this chapter 2 framework, is how I have it titled. And this is so much more than what I would have thought of, because a lot of new ideas came up as I was going through what I originally wanted. And it just means that I'm going to have a lot to work with, both established from here, which the great part for me is that this doesn't do anything before. Even though I only have about 3 chapters that should be taking place before this happens, none of that is affected in any way, shape, or form. So I can keep that pure. Moving forward into what I have right now, then this is going to be taking place where it's going to have ripple effects for much further in the story and how we move forward, which is cool. I like that a lot. I love the fact that I've been so isolated in writing these main characters that I have scattered throughout, that anytime I have a portion that's like, oh, this needs people. This whole area needs people to populate it to make this make sense for what I want to have happen. And I already have ideas for people down, so that's cool. I like that. So that's it. I'm done. That's it for I'm in a neat and tidy, just over an hour or so. But I think that's about it for this stream. And then for the next rest of the night, I'm going to be just going over on my phone details that I want to add into this. But then probably by tomorrow's stream, I'm going to be importing a bunch of things from what I wrote on my phone into probably not this version of it. I probably need another version because this is just a framework. And like I said, I'm going to want something to say, well, this is the few sentences that I have here. Clearly, this is at this point in the story. Add that in, and then just write from that portion. And since I have a beginning, middle, end, and all the details in between, just in the framework, that should be pleasant. That should be good to go. But that should be a lot of tomorrow's stream. For now, it's just go off and do my thing while I think about my story. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for watching. That's a bit more of an ending than I usually give to the. Normally, I'm like, I'm done. How do I stop the stream? But I actually said goodbye this time. Doing all right.